9 a.m. Milwaukee time, and I'm wearing sunglasses, and I can't see a damn thing. How about you guys? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing good.
There's still sun outside.
As the song once said, I can see clearly now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I instead am envisioning low spark of high heel boys. So you just figure where the hell I am.
So speaking of sunglasses, I guess you guys both started DJing a little later, maybe, but there was this thing, and maybe somebody else in the room remembers, if this was a thing where you live, where as part of a package you could get from some of the mobile entertainment companies, there was like a Blues Brother package where the DJs showed up in Blues Brother costumes and sunglasses, like the Jake and Elwood thing. That was actually a thing at one time.
That's cool.
Not really, but it was a thing at one time.
It lasted shorter than the chocolate fountain.
So welcome everybody to the Tuesday Night Music Show.
He's a chocolate fountain.
I am your host, and I am accompanied by our superstar engineer, producer, wingman, man with $1 million smile, Mr. Howie Darkstar.
Hello, everybody.
And my phone's ringing. And of course, we have Mr. Jay Brennan. So I'll answer the phone, Jake and riff.
How is everyone this night? I hope you're all well. I hope we're all busy. I'm grateful, blessed, thankful. I'm coming off a weekend of 2 weddings. Awesome. Both of them a little different from each other. A little different. First one, very straightforward, very poppy, very kind of this is what we like. And our friend in the room I see hiding over there lurking from Mexico City, JC, the couple was very into reggaeton. And you normally hear this, and I'm going to be a bit descriptive for those of you, don't be offended. This was a mid to late 20s young white girl and white guy. But she made it very clear to me early on, we love reggaeton. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. Now, like most of you, I'd met them by email, so I'd never seen them. So when I showed up, I was a bit perplexed, like, they don't look like a reggaeton couple, but they were into it. And I played probably 10 reggaeton tracks throughout the night, and they jammed. They loved it. Loved it. The only downside for me as a DJ, and tell me in the comments if you guys agree with this, track like 8, I'm into it. Dance floor is packed. Everything's going great. I'm at about 105 BPM. And the bride goes, do me a favor. Can you play? And JC, maybe if JC can speak, I don't know. He could speak without coming on, or I'm not sure. Brian will probably get the pronunciation. I will mispronunciate, as I do. Danza Kudero.
JC,
Brian?
you're on. You're on, JC.
Or JC, if you could just help me out. Danza Kudero.
We could have Blanca do it. She'll do it in Puerto Rico.
Somebody, but everyone I think knows what I'm talking about. 130 BPM, crazy track, packs the floor. So I did, for track 9, play that. The downside for me is, as Brian has tried to school me on in the past, I get very BPM centric. So I'm at 130, so I feel obligated to stay there. So I followed it up with Pitbull and Kesha, Timber. And then I started backtracking to 128, 126, and so on. But it was a great wedding. Now, Sunday, a little different. What's that?
JC says it's Danza Kuduro.
Danza Kuduro. Am I correct on that? Kuduro? Or if I was still living in Boston.
Kuduro for you white
if I was still in Boston, Danza Kudura. So anyway, John C on Twitch, dude, look it up. Just get it. Guys like drinking Paps out by the like Fenway Park. And Sunday, I'll give you 3 tracks I played during dancing. 1, Crystal Method meets The Doors, Roadhouse Blues. Great track. Very breakbeat, but great track. Another one, Mr. Mark Ronson. A lot of you are familiar with his work with Bruno Mars, but you may not be familiar with his work with Daniel Mayweather, a track called Stop Me If You Think. And some of you jumping up, JC might be, because he's down there in Mexico City and he's a fan of our boy from the Smiths. Yes, a remake of the Smiths. Stop Me If You Think you've heard this one before. Great remix, as well as Staying Alive. And I challenge all of you. There's Howie. Where are we? Howie says we're at 300,000 viewers right now.
Right.
All of you, please look this up. Staying Alive, the Teddy Bears remix. I played it Sunday night. Listen to it and give me your feedback tonight in the comments, next show, whenever. It was actually pretty cool, but it was a very... See if you guys all get this. Brian, Howie, everyone. A crowd that was... We think we're cooler than we might be. Does that make sense?
Too cool for school.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there you go.
Have you heard the Foo Fighters do that? It dropped like last week. They did a live version of it.
And they got a disco album out.
Oh no, on July 17th. It's called the DGs. The album is called Hail Satin. It's only available at independent record stores. Or, as I like to say, it's only available where Brian shops. And it's coming out July 17th to mark Record Store Day. They do a version of... The only one I've heard so far is You Should Be Dancing.
Yeah.
And it sounds awesome.
It really does.
Yeah. I'm going to be at Temecula Old Town Records buying that the day it comes out. Old Town Records on Saturday.
Well, they did this live. And I don't know, just my own personal opinion, I think they are the last true rock band left.
I've said this 100 times.
They can actually play. Correct. They can play anything.
Yeah, no, you are 100%. And the beauty of it is you have one of the three guitar players in the band is Pat Smear. Mm-hmm. Pat Smear was a member of the Germs back in LA in the 80s. One of the quintessential punk bands, so quintessential, the lead singer ended up overdosing, which is always a good sign of a quintessential band.
Oh, good.
I think today someone said to me recently about rock and roll, and I said, yeah, I'm a rock fan. That's what I do. And they said, well, in the last 20 years, name the most successful rock band.
There you go.
Well, Brian, in the last 20 years, by Billboard charts, give me the name of the most successful rock band, if you would, please.
I don't know. It's probably Foo Fighters.
I said Foo Fighters.
Is it like Blink-182 or something like that? Or
No, not even close. No. Just in the last 20 years of listening to music, what would you say was the most successful rock music you've heard in the last 20 years? Rock music. Yes. And this is, again, coming to you from Billboard charts.
I don't know. I got nothing on that.
All right, Howie?
I would have guessed the Foo Fighters myself.
And I that's exactly my guess. Sadly, all four of us are incorrect. It would be Imagine Dragons.
Really?
Well, you can call that a rock band. That's cool.
According to Billboard, they've had more #1 rock chart hits than any other band in the last 20 years.
Okay.
I have something that I want to talk about.
Oh, right.
Hold on.
And since
what is White Claw? God damn it. I grabbed the wrong seltzer again.
To take a breath, maybe I can get this one in edgewise. So I did a video on this and I haven't posted it yet. I got a text message when I got up. And mind you, I get up around noon from a client. And let me just pull it real quick. It's cool when I get text messages because, that way I know it's not like some kind of, bogus call or something, And I'm going to try to just, names have been changed to protect the innocent kind of thing.
Thank you, Sergeant Friday.
Right. Hey, Brian, my name is Jay Brennan. My fiance, Mish, and I are getting married sometime next year in a town somewhere around Milwaukee. We got contact info from Dave Brown, who's Wavy Davy. So thank you, Wavy, for throwing me a gig.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wavy Davy, the voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, everybody, Wavy Davy.
We are hoping to have a DJ, this is for you, Jay, for 8 hours.
Hello?
From 4 to 12. Okay, that's part one. Part two, we are planning on putting a pretty specific playlist together. Please let me know if
I'm
you
booked.
are available.
I'm booked.
So give me your reaction from that text. I mean, expand a
My
little
first
bit.
reaction is they want a jukebox.
Okay.
Well, no, and I agree with you on a lot, Howie, but my first reaction is they're concerned that they've either heard or been to weddings and it didn't go well. And when they talk to the clients, that what they heard was, man, we told him what we wanted. I can't believe he played this. So their mentality is, if I tell the DJ what to play, it will go well because we know what we like and our friends are like us.
How do you feel about the 8
And-
hours, Jay?
You know what? I just signed a contract today for a 9-hour wedding next year.
Okay.
And I was happy to do it because, and I'm not showing off. I'm just, again, as I said earlier, grateful. It was a little over $2,000. So I was like, yep, let's do it.
Yeah. Howie,
Now-
what do you have to say about all this, Howie?
That seems like a long time to me. The longest I've ever done here was 7 hours. But maybe they're like the typical couple that this is their first time. And maybe if you talk to them and assure them that, hey, I'm a professional, I've done this thousands of times, they might come around. And you don't, hopefully you don't get that, no, you have to play it and in this order. I had one client like that and I just said, well, I thank you, I'm not your guy, you know.
Well, the other side of it is, too, is to find out what 8 hours is. Is it 4 o'clock to 4:30 ceremony, 4:30 to 5:30 cocktail, 5:30 to 7 dinner, and then 5 hours? I've oftentimes said, why don't we plan to go till 10 or 11?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can extend for the same price, meaning if you're paying me $250, $300 an hour to come up front, if you want to extend it, you can, because the best time to end a wedding is not when you should end a wedding, it's when you
Right.
shouldn't. So when you have a full dance floor, I'd much rather end then than have me, the bride and groom, the parents, and 2 bridesmaids running drunk through the friggin' hall and say, hey, last song, and there's 6 people. It's like, guess what? You failed. That wedding should have ended before.
Let me walk you through it, if I may.
This is going to be one of those revolutions where he comes out and goes, they're not only blind, but they're in wheelchairs. Oh, jeez. Really? No, I look like the a-hole. Thanks.
So I text this person back
Okay.
and I say, looks like I'm available for your date. It sounds like you have some pretty specific wants and needs. So of course we need to talk. Is there a time when I can call you to discuss?
Ooh, eloquent.
It sounds
And-
like Tinder.
And and no reply. Like nothing.
Oh no.
Fake.
Nothing.
Brian, the kids like to say this. I learned this from my 15-year-old. So they ghosted you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
about 5 o'clock, I'm thinking to myself, pretty much what you gentlemen both said initially, your initial response to that. Jay said, no, I'm booked.
Yeah.
Howie's like, oh my God. That was the initial response. That was my initial response too. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Mm.
A playlist for 8 hours. I mean, I'll take their money, but this sounds like it's not going to be any fun. And I can't guarantee success on this. It's an awful long time. They seem like they really want to micromanage the event. I don't know if this is my client. I'm
You're not
putting
be a
it.
good fit.
I'm putting as mildly as I can. I may not be a good fit for this client.
Yeah.
So about 5:00, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call him. See if they answer the phone.
Pursue. Yep.
Just give him a call.
Follow up.
Yeah, he answers the phone. I said, look, I don't mean to bother you, but I just wanted to make sure that you got my text. He says, yes. My fiance and I just got off of work. We're school teachers. We're looking for a DJ for this date, and we're glad you're available. We have a very specific playlist that we would like played. We're compiling it now. And we need a DJ that will do 8 hours. Now, let me go back a little bit here. I forgot to mention that
Brian's your man.
The reason Wavy Davies sent me this is because I know for a fact he won't do more than 6 hours. That's just his thing. Because Wavy does it with his wife. And
I'll do 12. I don't give a crap.
He DJs with his wife. It's a husband and wife thing. It's what they do. And she has fun as long as...
he can't... Wait, real quick. I got to interrupt. He can't do 8 hours?
Well...
If the contract calls for it, he says no?
Well, okay.
I got to ask.
And I'm going to tell you. Dave and Marcia are both professionals. They don't need the money. They do this because they like it. But...
Oh, okay.
But when it gets to be a long event, it's no longer fun for them. They're...
Oh. Okay.
They just don't want to do those long epic events anymore.
Fair
They'll do the
enough.
6 hour events, but they're not interested.
Enough.
So that's why he sent it over to me. So I said to him, well, yeah, we can do a playlist. I said, but I mean, you could run Spotify too if you wanted to. And
whoa,
I'm really not doing a lot of DJing at this point. And he says, well, here, let me let you talk to my fiance. And he puts her on the phone. It's a totally different tone. Hi, so glad you called us. Thank you so much. I'm glad you called. And I'm so happy that you're available. Here's the situation. We're getting married at 4:00, so we need a DJ for the ceremony, just like Jay said. And then we have a dinner starting at 6:00 for our ceremony. So in total, it's 8 hours. Are you able to do that? Like, well, absolutely. I can do a ceremony. Of course. That's what I do. In fact, I explained my system and all that. And, oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. So you have microphones and everything. Oh, yeah, no problem. It's all battery powered. That's amazing. Thank you. I didn't even know you could do that. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do that. So we were thinking we could get married. We had to get married really close to the reception hall because of where the speakers were. I'm like, no. Get married on the 18th hole of the golf course. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So what we were going to do initially, I know my family really well. We party together all the time. And I know my friends real well. So I know the music. I'm really into music. It's like my thing. It's my passion. I was going to have my cousin do it because he likes music a lot too. But I got to thinking, I could put a list together for my cousin, but I'd really like it if my cousin could just join the party and have fun and have a drink and be part of the event. So I thought maybe it was a good idea to reach out to a professional DJ. So that's why we called you.
Wow.
How things change.
Yep. But now you have to validate your fee because already they've established that their cousin for free could show up and do this.
Oh, we've covered that.
But they want him to party with them.
We covered that. We covered that.
Okay, good.
And I knew, I told her the same thing that I've said in videos, in this room, everything else. And I do as I say, not as I do. Sometimes I fail to do this. Full disclosure. Sometimes I screw it up. But I told her, I said, look, what I don't like to do is quote you a price without getting a complete scope of the work first. So I don't want you to have to pay for something that you don't need. And on the other hand, I don't want to walk into a situation where I'm doing more work than I expected. So what I really need is a full scope of work. And as soon as I have that, I can give you the price. However, I don't want to be vague about this either. I start here for a ceremony, and that's 6 hours. And I start here for a ceremony, and then for the reception, I start here, and that's up to 6 hours. So best case scenario, with the minimum amount of work, you're here. And she said, oh, that's perfect. and it was
Wow.
not budget.
It's a good thing you called back. Wow.
She had questions, but it wasn't like she was trying to find the questions I answered. And I'm hyper aware of this. When people ask me questions, sometimes they're trying to gather information to give to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The types of questions she was asking me were about my capabilities with what I have. Music, equipment, some back-end support stuff, especially for something like the ceremony. And then she said, well, you know, we want to do this thing where we have the screen up. And immediately I'm thinking she wants projectors. I don't do that. But she didn't ask for that. I kept my mouth shut. She said, we want to do the screen thing. It's a tribute to her grandparents. And I think it was my sister is a musical theater major, and she wanted to sing. And I said, okay, I can provide a microphone, and I'm assuming she also needs a backing track played. She says, I never thought of a backing track. So you can do that. I'm like, oh, absolutely. It's not a problem. It's a microphone, and it's a backing track, and I can, mix her mic right there and get the volumes right, and it shouldn't be an issue. Wow, I didn't even realize we could do that, and I never thought of a backing track. And again, it was things like that she was asking about. It wasn't like, well, how do you do this and how do you do that and how do you time that? She wasn't asking about any of that. I just assured her that I've done this for a long time. And she said, well, so you do wedding ceremonies? I said, yes. In fact, I also direct them. She said, really? I'm like, yeah, I can't marry you, but if you have cousin Bob who got ordained, Jay can, right? But if you have cousin Bob who got ordained
Pastor
online,
Jay, if you don't mind.
Pastor Jay. If you have cousin Bob who got ordained online last week and he doesn't know what he's doing, I can come in the day before and direct this for you. Tell everybody what to do. I've done it before. Right. I didn't tell her, hey, I'm a professional DJ. I just answered her questions.
You let the client speak.
Yeah, let the client speak.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'll try to make the video before you do, but if I don't, do me a favor. Please make that the next video you do called Let the Client Speak, because I think too often times we don't. And as you're talking, in my head, I'm going back over all of the events I've done where someone came to me with, we've got this. And the greatest line that I absolutely love to hear is in a meeting, on the phone, whatever, when it's, yeah, my fiance, the groom, is into music, and I hear this, yeah, but you can't dance to it. And that is the biggest door opener in the world. And I go, yeah, what do you mean? What are you into? And he goes, well, I like, I'm a big fan of like Frank Zappa. I can do some Steve Vai during cocktail. Whoa. Time out. Wait, what? Yeah, I could do some Adrian Belew stuff over here. Oh my God. Because I will tell you, I'm going to give you guys the... Stop there, because you're gonna monologue into something else, because I got a response to that. So I did the exact same thing with my client. So this is how it works. You say something, and then I reply, and then you can say something else, and then I can reply to that too. That's how we do this. So I had the exact same thing with my client for Saturday, because I'm talking to them. They're both in their 70s, by the way. And I'm like, what are you into for music? He says, well, we kind of like everything, but what he's really into isn't really good for would be good for this. I said, well, what is it? He says, well, he likes blues. I'm like, let's do Stevie Ray Vaughan for dinner. Let's do ZZ. We love Stevie Ray Vaughan. We love ZZ. BB King.
Yeah, BB King. All that. There's up-tempo stuff. It's not all just, I'm a Man by Muddy Waters. There's stuff that's
Yeah. Albert Collins, Gatemouth Brown. Yeah, no, you got tons to choose from.
So they thought that was great,
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way you handle it, I think I guessed correctly that they didn't know, and it may be their first time, because I've had that question asked of me, and I listen like you do, and they go, do you do the announcing stuff too? Like when we walk in the room, and I said, oh, emceeing. Yes, of course. and
But they don't know.
they don't realize that, you know, and it's okay. And Brian, it sounds like you handled it perfectly. You just listened, answered, and you wowed them.
Brian and I have had this conversation years ago, Howie, and he will shake his head in agreement. The job of the DJ is oftentimes to educate the client.
Exactly.
It is oftentimes to let the client know what it is that we actually do. I still get it today. I have people saying, oh, I saw this video. You married my friends, this and that. So will you make the announcements? I'm like, let me explain what I will do. And you have to start from zero. And you get all done and they go, oh my God, this is so awesome. Because you know they've called 5 other DJs who have said, yeah, my fee is this. I show up. I do this. I remember back in the day when, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, going to Starbucks to meet with clients. And I would be like, how long do you guys meet with? Oh, like 30 minutes. I'm like, 30 minutes? I'm meeting for like an hour, 45, 2 hours. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, because I'm trying to get to understand who it is I'm dealing with.
I'm usually a little over an hour. Yeah.
I need them to understand that I get them. And I also need them to understand that if I don't get them, I'll tell them and say, I'm not a good fit.
Not your guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the wrong guy. Like the Frank Zappa thing. If the guy goes, I love Frank Zappa, if you can't snap back and say, this is what I think we should do, then you're not a good fit, and that's okay. Yeah. The next guy will say, I love Spice Girls, and Brian K will go, me too, and you're okay.
He does, but he doesn't.
You're fine.
He doesn't. He's like,
that's the weird part. Well, if you're Brian K and you say, you know what, I'd love some Breaking Benjamin, now Brian K's your guy.
Right, now he's your guy. It's like, when I was talking to these folks tonight, they were opening the door for me to, because they were, well, she was saying, it's so refreshing.
They want help.
Yeah. And I said, look, this is what I do. And I don't do this part-time. This is my job. I've been doing it for a long time. I said, and I've got ideas for you, but I need you to understand something. I'm not the boss here. I'm the coach. You're the athlete. Right. I can recommend that you do this or that, or throw this punch or that punch, but ultimately you're going to do what you're going to do. There's nothing I can do about it. I could advise you against it, but if you do it, you do it. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. Whether or not you take my help, and that's fine. You can take or leave my advice. I'm not the boss. You're the boss.
The best compliment.
By showing empathy there, you've created a relationship and a bond with them already.
Right.
They already trust me.
Yeah, exactly.
I know I'm putting this whole thing together, and it's going to be fine. And it's going to be their vision because I'm listening to them.
Right.
I did a wedding 15, 16 years ago, and the bride gave me a 5-star review. And the thing she said that I've never forgotten was, Jay took the work and worry out of getting married for me. And they were 2 lawyers getting married. And I said, she
lawyers in love.
For introduction, I'd like to do this. I go, you don't want to do Jackson Brown? She goes, what do you mean? I go, Lawyers in Love, Jackson Brown. She goes, I don't think I've ever. I played it, and she goes, oh my God, are you kidding me? This actually exists? But I mean, I'm sure, like the 3 of us, if I get a client.
So I should do a hot for teacher for this client.
The second I hear what they do, what their name is, my brain goes to like, I cannot tell you how desperately I want a client where the bride shows up and goes, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Jay. What's your name? Valerie. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Your name's Valerie? We're in. We're done. Here's your intro piece. This is it. This is where we're going. But, it's always knowing to give what we know to make their day special. And as I tell everybody, I don't want to be the standout. I just want to be part of the whole puzzle.
I told her that today.
When they walk away and say, we had an amazing time, we had a great time, where I come to shine is in a year, 6 months, a year, a year and a half, 2 years, where they go to so many weddings and they go, man, this this is not as good as Blanca and Brian's wedding. Remember that DJ didn't talk a lot. He was really cool.
The one that took place in Fantasyland. Yeah, that was a good one.
Like, what is that? Like, you know what? Our daughter's getting married. Let me call Brian. Hey, bro. Yeah, I've been to a bunch of weddings, man. Love you. By the way, who's your DJ? That's the way we're working. Don't work for 6 months, 4 months, 5 months, 2 months, a month. Work for a year or two away.
Go ahead, Howie.
Just a suggestion. Lawyers in Love. Follow up with Warren Zevon. Send lawyers.
No. Excuse me. Don't even think I didn't go there. I'm the one that in 1988 saw Warren Zevon on piano. I don't remember the drummer, but I do remember the bass player, no guitarist. Bass player, a gentleman by the name of Timothy B. Schmidt, in Boston on a Tuesday at the Paradise. And let me tell you, one of the greatest shows I've ever seen, because halfway through he goes, man, I'm sick of singing. I'm going to let the bass players sing. Do you guys know this guy, Timothy B. Schmidt? He's in a little band called the Eagles. And he did, I can't tell you why, piano, bass, and drums. And it was one of those. I'm sorry? No. I live in California now. No, Brian. Excuse me.
No, excuse me.
Excuse me. Excuse me. The highway out here is 15. It is 15. Route 15, but I call it the 15. Same way I call it the 101 and the Eagles.
No,
and
it's
the
Eagles.
Foo Fighters. No, it is the. Okay, this
my mother calls a certain artist that Pitbull, so I understand. It's an old person.
I'm just saying it's a California thing. I'm not from here. This is not my native land.
But Eagles are from there, and they call themselves Eagles. That's the part.
No, they say but everyone refers to them as, No,
you do.
The Eagles. It's a stoner thing. I'm so sorry.
Eagles.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jay, you're arguing with the musical savant. So
no. Well, I'm arguing with the second savant.
Kind of like the wing.
Mark Mosley. By the way, respect Mark Mosley, the savant. And even Brian will tell you.
But
sadly, no, Brian.
I regress.
Nobody questions Brian.
I regress. It's just amazing to me.
The Eagles.
That all came out of that text message, and our initial knee-jerk reaction was run for the hills.
Well, you know what though? It's one of those things. But I love the challenge. That was
the magic.
Yeah.
No, it totally was, Howie. You're 100% right. It's the let me steer through all this and find out exactly what they want, because eventually they don't know what to say, and we do. And if you get to them, that's where it all happens.
Howie, do you remember?
I'm wondering how many people would have stayed ghosted. No, seriously, you took the initiative to make the call. A lot of people leave that money on the table by not following up.
I considered not doing it. I was like, should I, shouldn't I? Because I'm looking at the time. I'm thinking maybe they're in commute. But it was just odd that, there was no quick text message. Great, thanks. Can we talk tonight? Or something that takes 10 seconds to do, and it didn't happen. I thought that was odd. So I thought, you know what? I've taken the time to read this message and reply to it.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? The worst thing that can happen is I could say, you know what? This gig isn't for me.
Yeah, but now it sounds like it is. And it's going to be a great gig.
It's perfect for them. I think it's good for everybody.
Yeah, for everybody. So, yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited about it. I found out where they live and where they work. So we coordinate some, place to meet that's, kind of in the middle. They're kind of out by Mom a little bit, but they work kind of by here. So that'll work out fine. We can work it out when they're ready and just get it all.
I give you a lot of credit for doing the follow-up, because I think Howie's right. I think without doing that follow-up, you'll never know if this is the client that, you could have gone to and said, oh, I'm totally a good fit. Plus, I mean, like I said earlier, I'm going to stick with it. The clients that I meet with, that I love no other comment than hearing the groom say, what I like you can't dance to. What I like you can't play at a wedding. And that is the biggest door opener for me.
Right.
where
It
it's like,
is.
I love this. And I'm like, I can do this. I can name 100 things I can do. And they look at you like, oh my God, that would be awesome. You could do that. It's like,
Yeah.
I did a wedding years ago up at Cal Poly up in,
Sure, I know Cal Poly.
yeah.
My
up in
sister
Cal
Cindy
Poly.
went there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cal Poly. There's a building there where Einstein had slept.
Oh.
And it's called, oh God, I can't remember the name
Jay,
of the building.
if you stay there, it won't rub off on you. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just saying. Yeah, exactly.
Try.
But the wedding was done, the ceremony was done in the grass front, and then they had like a little quad area where the dinner was and the dancing. But it was one of those where she had said to me last minute, hey, by the way, Roger, the groom, is really into this. And I'm like, oh, okay. If you could play something during dinner, it would be cool. And it was Slayer and Metallica and Megadeth. So I took my vitamin strings and all these instrumentals, and then halfway through dinner of just normal background music, played those. And you saw the groom light up when I played Rain in Blood on piano. And he's like, and there was like 4 or 5 guys there like doing this to him. And the bride looks at me with like tears in her eyes, like, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted. So I went over to the head table and I go, hey, how's it going? He goes, dude, this is effing awesome. And I go, oh yeah, no, this was her idea. He goes, are you serious? I'm like, no. This was her plan. Now, she had no plan. She just threw it out there.
Right.
But I made her look good. He was happy.
Right.
I mean, that's our goal. That's the job we do. Our job is to make everyone at the end of the day look good, be happy, and walk away thinking this is everything I ever wanted.
Now, I hate to interrupt you here, and I hate to switch gears, but Robin has popped in on the chat. Our faithful Robin. We love Robin. Everyone loves Robin. Even Jimmy loves Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy hates everybody.
Jimmy does hate everyone.
No, he doesn't. Jimmy loves everybody. So Robin says, in Jay's defense, nearly every reference to them on the internet says the Eagles. Just saying.
Okay, well, then, Robin, this is why you and I should never have broken up, and I regret it to this day. I remember back when you and I were hanging out in Malibu back in 73, 74, and, the ring broke and I lost it in the beach, but I remember that weekend going up to Pomona.
Now, see, I don't mean to be that guy, okay? To
Wait,
you or Robin.
Guy. It's Brian. It's just Guy. It's not the guy.
No, I
It's
said
just
that guy. That guy. That specific guy. Okay. But I challenge you and Robin both to find me an Eagles album that's credited as the Eagles. A greatest hits.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching tonight.
Hotel California.
We're going to come back to you next week.
Hell Froze Over.
The Brian S. Red Show.
To find me an Eagles album where it says the Eagles on it, and I will accept that.
Okay. See, I would be upset, but that time in Vegas where Brian had all the numbers set up in the casino because Brian is that guy. He's that guy.
Show me
Brian
the album
is
cover.
That guy.
Did you hear that one, Jay?
I did.
I was trying to help you out there.
I appreciate
Show me the album
that.
cover.
But here we go. Yeah. Wapner.
The Eagles' greatest hits.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Eagles'
Definitely practice and enjoy Wapner. Yeah.
Gotta go to Kmart, get some underwear.
Yeah. Definitely.
This is the kind of stuff that drove Glenn Fry crazy.
Oh, well, it's our R.I.P. Glenn Fry, but
it may say that, but if you look at the album itself, it simply says.
All right, quick
Eagles.
whip around. Greatest song out of the Eagles or any of the members? If you only had one song from Eagles or any of the members.
One of These Nights.
Okay, Howie.
I like it.
Because it's personal to me. I may get the song wrong, but Standing on the Corner in Winslow, Arizona.
Take it easy.
Take it easy for me because I was there.
Okay.
I have a picture of my
for me,
mother and
Hotel
father.
California but it's a direct tie with a song called Month of Sundays by Don Henley. And if you haven't heard it,
Deep cuts with Jay Brennan.
I challenge you to listen to a song called Month of Sundays by Don Henley, and you will walk away a changed person.
Sounds good.
I felt the
And by
same
the way,
way
I've been to this. Have you been to the Sunset Grill? I know Brian has.
I felt the same way about All She Wants to Do Is Dance. Oh, that was a great song. And he used a Lynn drum. That was cool.
Yeah, but you've been to Sunset Grill. I've seen photos of you.
Well,
Correct?
you know that
I
there's
don't
a
think I've been to
statue
Sunset
there,
Grill.
right?
You haven't?
And
I thought you have. It's
you
right
know
next
there's
to
a
Guitar
statue
Center.
now in Winslow, Arizona.
Yeah.
Yes, there
I
is.
was there
Yes.
when I went cross country for the first time on my bike, and I stopped there before they even had a statue. And I went to the convenience store across the way, got a gallon of water, dumped it out.
What else?
Filled it up with gasoline, tied it to the back of my sissy bar so I could take the National Forest Way down to Phoenix.
Jesus.
And so I would have enough gas. But as I'm standing on that corner, the song is running in my head. And here comes this lady in a flatbed truck. It wasn't a Ford, but I was like, I'll never forget this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you, Peter Fonda. So next up, caller from Rancho
my mom and
Cucamonga.
dad.
Except I didn't die at the end of the thing.
My mom and dad on one of their last road trips, they went through there too. And my mom thought it would be fun to play Take It Easy off of her Eagles Greatest Hits CD that she had in the car. So she was playing it, and they pull up in this little
That's awesome.
one intersection town. My mother and father. They got pictures of this, or she has pictures of it.
That's awesome.
And they turn the car off and they get out of the car. And my mom says, Paul, something's wrong. The radio didn't turn off. He says, well, the car is off. So I can still hear the song. Well, they're playing it.
Oh, for reals?
Yeah. And then
That's awesome.
And then they're taking pictures of them standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. But what completely went over their head is in the picture in the background, they didn't realize that there's a 1960 Ford flatbed parked there with a mannequin of a chick sitting in it.
That's awesome.
So I've got pictures of that stuff. It's kind of fun.
Well, I mean, about 5-6 years ago, I went up to LA with the kids and the wife. And I said, before the day's over, I want to go up to the Beverly Hills Hotel. And they said, why? I said, because I just read that the cover of Hotel California, the picture was taken at sunset at the hotel.
Right.
So at sunset, we went to the hotel and I took the photo. And I looked at the wife and kids and I said, you guys want to go inside? And they said, yeah. And I said, okay, we'll go to the Polo Lounge. So we went inside, went to the lounge, and I said to the maitre d', do you have anything outside? And he goes, no, I'm sorry, sir, we're all full. I said, great, can we sit inside? He goes, oh yeah, I've got a little table right here. I got a Jack on the rocks. My wife got a margarita. My kids got,
beers.
Whatever. Well,
tequila.
They should have.
Yeah.
I think it was whiskey.
Shuts them up real quick.
Something. And all of a sudden, the maitre d' walks over and says, I have a table outside if you'd like it. I said, yes, I would. We went outside, and I will tell you what we ordered, and then you guess the bill. Steak tartare, Caesar salad, soup, chocolate souffle.
Who the hell ordered steak tartare?
I did.
Oh, Jesus.
This is how long ago it was. Well,
Yeah,
that's how long ago it was.
Yeah, Jesus.
Not only ate meat, but it was raw. Margarita, whiskey, Coke, iced tea, and then I think there's one other little thing in the mix.
$512.
Sat next, by the way, real quick, before I give you the price, sat the tables between us, Edgar Winter at one table, Naomi Campbell at the other, and then a guy named J.J. Abrams. No.
Wow. J.J. Abrams?
No. And it's funny you say that because the guy said to me, you look like a guy that used to come here all the time named John Holmes. And I said, yes. And for those of you that don't get that joke, you'll take a little time online. Don't go for images. Just look up all. Don't put images.
Don't do anything Jay tells you to do. Just ignore Jay.
The tab was $230.
Oh shit!
You know what?
It's $250.
And you know what?
You gladly paid it.
Still one of the greatest times we've ever had, because we all walked out of there like, wow, this was just so effing cool.
Who looks at the menu and says, yeah, I'd like to try the steak tartare here?
Because they're known for that, Brian.
But they didn't cook it. Get something
they did it tableside. It was done tableside.
They didn't grill the damn cow.
Raw meat.
They didn't
raw
butcher it there either.
No, they were throwing like everything you could think of. COVID-19. They were throwing influenza in there. Anything they could get their hands on. It was done. It was great.
Aren't you guys glad you tuned in for our show tonight? I bet you are. I bet
you're a better DJ because of it.
Thank you.
Or at least you smiled.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us on the Tuesday Night Music Show. We may have mentioned music a little bit. We talked about Eagles.
Mentioned
Quite
Eagles.
a bit.
We mentioned
Sorry.
Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys want to hear? Do you guys have the Eagles? No, I don't.
Got Eagles.
I have Eagles, but I don't have the Eagles.
There is like the Eagle. That would be like Don Henley would be the Eagle, you know.
Oh my God. Can you imagine Brian's weddings? People coming up going like, hey man, you have the Eagles Hotel California? No. Showed you.
Nope. No soup for you.
Seriously. The DJ Nazi.
I think he would have handled it the way he handled booking this client. He would have listened and said yes.
But actually,
or no.
I would have said yes and then corrected them, because that's the kind of savant.
There you go, Brian. How to win over the client. Next week's show will be how to win over the client.
Did we have this conversation on this show last week?
We may have.
With the who's her name? Kim, the bridesmaid.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The same thing. That's what we're talking about here. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, as does my partner in crime here, Mr. Howie Darkstar, and of course, swinging Pastor Jay Brennan from Temecula, California. Until next week.